Today, we're diving into Eternity, A24's charming, surprising, and sometimes heartbreaking afterlife rom-com directed by David Frine. It's a story that blends romance, metaphysics, comedy, and a love triangle that literally spans lifetimes. At its core, Eternity asks one impossible question. If you could choose who to spend forever with, what would you do when your heart belongs to two different lives? We start with Larry and Joan Cutler, an ordinary couple who have spent 65 years together. Their life has been long, imperfect, but filled with love. They've raised children, watched their grandchildren grow, and lived through enough arguments and reconciliations to fill several novels. Their story begins at a gender reveal party for their granddaughter. The family buzzes with excitement. Larry, older now, wanders over to a bowl of pretzels for a snack. And then, in the most brutally mundane A24 way possible, Larry starts choking. A few coughs, a stumble, and then silence. With shocking abruptness, Larry dies. But death is not the end. Larry awakens gasping, suddenly decades younger, now played by Miles Teller, standing at what looks like a giant retro-futuristic train station. Think Grand Central Terminal meets Disneyland's Tomorrowland. A large glowing sign reads, "Welcome to the station. Your eternity awaits." This is where everyone arrives after death, and in this world you don't go straight to heaven or hell. Instead you arrive at the station, return to the age you were happiest, choose an eternity package, board a train to your final destination. Some eternities look like vacations, some look like fantasies, some are deeply weird, but each is forever. Larry meets two afterlife coordinators, Anna, played by Divine Joy Randolph, and Ryan, played by the hilarious John Early. They act like cruise guides crossed with DMV employees, charming, chaotic, and sarcastically overworked. They explain, Larry has 1 week to choose his eternity. Once he boards a train, the choice is permanent. And yes, he can wait at the station for someone else to arrive, but people don't come in order. Larry thinks immediately of Joan. She's been battling cancer, so she might arrive soon. He decides to wait. The station is huge, with hundreds of people waiting for loved ones. One of them is a bartender, handsome, confident, old-fashioned. His name is Luke. He's been waiting behind that bar for 67 years. He died young, in the Korean War. He was Joan's first husband, her first love, the one she married at 20 but lost almost instantly. Luke is played by Callum Turner, and the moment he hears Larry mention Joan's name, he freezes. He's been waiting not months, not years, but decades, hoping Joan would one day walk into the station. Two men, one lifetime shared, one lifetime stolen, and both claim the same woman. After days of waiting, the station doors open, and there she is. Joan, now young again, played by Elizabeth Olsen, walks inside, confused and emotional. She sees Larry first, runs to him, laughs and cries at the same time. But then she turns and sees Luke, the man she loved first, the man she lost too soon, the man she never got to say goodbye to. Her face freezes, her soul fractures, and the real story begins. Joan now has to choose between Larry, the man she built a life with, kids, grandkids, messy years, joyful years, and Luke, the man she barely got to start with, the what if, the unfinished love, the dream. Both options are beautiful. Both are tragic. Both are forever. While Joan struggles, the film takes us deeper into the station. We see Studio 54 Eternity, Disco Lights Forever. No Men Eternity, immediately popular. Smoking Eternity. Cigarettes can't kill you twice. Quiet Eternity. Just endless peace. Chaotic Eternity, for people who apparently liked stress. There are brochures, sales pitches, holograms, long lines. It's a hilarious bureaucratic mess wrapped around cosmic existentialism. But Joan can't even think about eternity. She hasn't even processed dying. Her entire emotional system has just been rebooted. And the two men circling her aren't making it easier. Larry tries to be patient. He had Joan for 65 years. He knows her like no one else ever could. Meanwhile, Luke is overflowing with longing and frustration. He's waited nearly 70 decades for a chance to live the life he was robbed of. And Joan sees truth in both of them. With Luke, she feels the rush of being young, fearless, idealistic, newly married. With Larry, she feels safety, memory, family, history. This isn't a triangle, it's two different versions of her own heart. As the deadline approaches, staff members Anna and Ryan check in constantly. Your eternity window is closing. If you don't choose, you'll be assigned. Please don't make a mess in the lobby. They try to help Joan, but even they admit, no one can tell you what eternity should look like. Joan finally cracks under the pressure. She confesses to both men, I don't know what I want. You're both my life, just different pieces of it. Larry breaks. Luke breaks. Joan breaks. The station feels smaller. The clock feels louder. Every eternity starts looking wrong. For the first time, Joan feels truly dead, cut off from everything that wants to find her. The three of them sit together, quiet, defeated, and Joan finally makes her decision. The film doesn't treat it like a twist. It treats it like a truth. She chooses the person who reflects who she became, not who she used to be. She chooses the love that grew with her, aged with her, frustrated her, comforted her, challenged her, raised a family with her. Joan chooses Larry. But in the afterlife, love doesn't erase pain. Luke is devastated, not angry, just heartbroken in the way only 7 decades of hope can produce. He hugs her goodbye, softly, with acceptance. Then he walks toward his train, toward an eternity he must now face alone, a world he never wanted without her. It is one of the film's most quietly crushing moments. Larry and Joan board their train, together at last. The station shrinks behind them, the sky screen dims, and the train glides forward into whatever eternity they have chosen, something simple, peaceful, and shared. But before the doors close, Joan looks back one last time. Not with regret, but with gratitude. Luke watches from a distance. He smiles. A small, broken, beautiful smile, just before his own train departs. Eternity ends on a warm, bittersweet note. Love is complicated. Timing is cruel. Life isn't fair. But choice gives us meaning, even after death. And Joan's choice reflects a deep truth. Forever isn't about excitement. It's about the person who walks with you through every season of your life, even the last one. Eternity mixes humor, metaphysics, and romance to deliver one of A24’s sweetest films in years. It's simple, whimsical, and emotionally grounded, even when it doesn't explore its afterlife concept as far as it could. But in the end, it gives us something surprisingly rare, a love story big enough to last beyond life itself.